If anything, if I've ever experienced disappointment, it's in Santa Barbara. This has been the most underwhelming experience ever.
How do full-time employees like us do everything it takes to build a thriving online business today? How do you not become a statistic of another failed business, all while balancing full-time career and life? We don't have all the answers, but we're figuring it out. Welcome to Entrepreneurs with Jobs. What's up, Fisayo?
Not much, Jeff. Long time no see.
I know.
It's been... I haven't really seen you since...
You sit right behind me.
Well, I mean, today doesn't really count. I haven't really... This is my first time seeing you in like 5 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because you were not here on Thursday or Friday. And then... Well, you were here...
No, I was here Thursday. I was here
No,
Thursday.
you work from home Thursday. Because you
work
came
from
on Monday.
Home. I work from home Thursday.
Exactly. I keep track. And then you were here yesterday, but then I didn't really see you, so it doesn't really count.
Well, I also ran out because I had a doctor's appointment that I
Okay.
forgot about. $50 no-show.
You got charged?
No, I almost got charged.
Oh, for almost not showing.
Yeah, they called me.
Got it. Okay. So I'm right. Long time no see.
Long time.
All right.
So this is what podcast is this? Entrepreneurs with a Job.
That's what you call it, right?
Mm-hmm. we got the domain name.
Oh, you did?
I got the domain name.
Oh, awesome. That's cool. That's cool. How much do I owe you? Well, like $10, $5.
$10. $10.
Take that as part of my. I shouldn't put that on camera. Actually, I'm gonna say take part of my equity of this. But no,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just
you
kidding.
heard that now.
I'm just kidding because in like 2 years, that $10 is gonna be worth like whatever it'll be worth. All right. So
new format.
yeah. I mean, let's see. What did we decide? Talking about the past period. Each person share what we plan for the next period.
So that's the second segment.
And then
Last segment is
a tip.
Tips.
Yeah.
Just the tip.
All right. Just a tip. All right. Okay. So we don't have an intro yet, but we will.
We'll mix it soon.
Well, okay.
We'll figure something out.
All right. Cool. So I guess who do you want to go first? I mean, I have things to share. I've had a very dramatic last period.
Have
actually.
you?
I have. It's
Okay.
yeah.
So you go second. Close this out.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
For the first segment. Okay.
All right.
So for the
So what have you been up to, Jeff?
What have I been up to?
Since we last chatted.
So I finished the article with hiring a writer. So content marketing things to talk about with a girl. So keyword research, search optimization, first time working with an outside writer. It was good. She over-delivered. It was about 2,500 words, and typically people charge like around $1 something per word, to
Really?
$1 to $3. Yeah, if they're a good writer.
Oh,
So she was good. She looked up the research. She looked up coaches in our space so that we can reach out and tell them that we featured them on the article.
Oh, so you referenced them in the article.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so that was a learning experience, having to learn how to work with a writer, the style, and then also setting expectations. So that was like the biggest thing. And then just working on. So the biggest thing. Okay. So I'm having doubts because I'm being lazy. Not being lazy, but I'm bored. So here, you can work me through this. Okay.
You're bored.
I'm bored. I'm bored.
What exactly are you bored with?
The topic. I kind of want to do something else. When you say
the topic, what do you mean? You don't mean like
men's dating advice.
But isn't that the whole point of your business?
Yeah. I know.
So
I might have to pivot.
The business that you left your marketing thing to go back to.
Yeah, I'm a little bored.
And you're now bored. If I recall, didn't you say you were bored with the marketing? You didn't like the clients.
No, I didn't like doing the work for clients. I like the consulting. So if I were
you like to be consulted, but you don't want to actually be the operational
No,
person.
I'd rather hire somebody from the Philippines or something, and then teach them what needs to be done, and then create the process. Eventually, that's what I want to do.
You just want to be a consultant.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was that. But now you started doing this then because your goal was to, from what you shared with me, wrap it up. You wanted to automate it so you can just be an independent thing that would generate revenue, but
Yes.
now you are bored.
Yeah. So talk me through this because I've been just thinking about this. I've been thinking about switching the focus, but the thing that sucks is there's like 2 programs that are done. Sales funnel's done. Sales copy's done. There's content that's finished. Nearly 60 podcasts done. Website is.
You don't have a right to be bored. You're gonna have to finish this.
Okay.
As a friend, and you can't. I mean, you.
I should finish this before I move on.
The whole point of going back was so wrapping it up and like in a clean, just putting the bow on it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, I mean, you're nothing tied you to this for the rest of your life. You do it and
Just
be done.
finish.
And don't waste all the effort you've put into it. Like, why would you just want to because you're bored? Like, who does that? Like, because you're bored.
Okay. I needed someone to talk to me and walk me through this.
Can't make decisions off of being bored. Like, no. Mm-mm. Especially it's not long term. You're not like committing your life to this. You're just doing this. Exactly. So do what needs to be done. Think of it like a job or project.
So just finish.
Be clear about what you need to do and, assign goals and timelines to guide you to completion. And then you can move on.
Okay.
And be on board.
So I will automate this, get it done so I can move on to other stuff.
Yeah, and also in the next segment, we're going to be talking about our goals for the next period. So if you haven't figured out, so kind of the way we're structuring our podcast is the first section is really sharing about what we've accomplished, or just kind of the gist of what's happened to us since the last time we met. And that's kind of what Jeff is doing. And then our second segment would be talking about what we're going to do next. Because ultimately we want to hold ourselves accountable because some people are bored. So you kind of have to.
Some people need to be talked sense into. Because I've been sitting there, I was like, should I just move on to something else?
Oh my God. No, yeah. So we're going to talk about
this is why I need somebody else.
Yeah. So we're what we're going to do next. And then at the end, we're going to just share some, useful tips that we've discovered that we think will be useful to others, budding entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs with jobs like us. So, but yeah, you're not stopping. You're going to finish this.
Okay. I think I just needed that because I just look at the content and I'm like, do I want this audience? Do I just want to move on from now? It's like, I want to just move on from now, but I'm really close.
Yeah, it doesn't make.
I'm really close to just finishing this and then having it.
Just the fact that you're able to finish something. I think there's a certain level of feel goodness about that. Like I had a goal and I accomplished it. No matter what happens, then that momentum will also make you more likely to succeed at other things. The fact that you're able to set a goal and
then finish
it. Then okay, I can do this again, and hopefully find something that will not be as boring.
That definitely is going to be entrepreneurship and marketing. That's the goal that I'm going to be going into next. I need to get through this.
Yeah, you need to get through this.
I need to hustle through this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm so close, and I'm just they're just in my mind. I'm just like, I kind of want to do it now.
Yeah, what's your excuse, Jeff? You don't have a wife. You have a girlfriend. You don't have 3 kids, and that. Finish it.
See, I can't say anything to Fisayo.
You cannot say anything.
Can't say anything.
No, you cannot.
I have no kids.
Yeah, he has no kids, and I have 3 very active kids with lots of sports activities.
And her relationship? Or she has a husband?
I have a husband, so that's like my fourth kid. So I don't know what his excuse is, talking about being bored. Get the luxury of being bored. What is that? Anyway, so
okay. I will commit.
Thank you, Jeff.
I will finish this.
All right,
so that I can move on from this.
Yeah.
I'm just so close.
Okay, well,
I'm just excited for the entrepreneur stuff. That's why.
Well, you just gotta finish something, because you know what, you will get, even though you're excited about the entrepreneur stuff, I'm sure you will get to a point where no matter how excited about what it is you're doing, there will always come a point where you feel like, oh my God, like there will be something about it that will, like, because as you guys probably know, the work of an entrepreneur is not only about just the core business model, business work, or your core focus. There are other things that you kind of have to contend with that are not so pleasant. And you can't just say, "Oh, because this is no fun, I'm gonna stop." Like, that's no excuse. It's part of the journey. So you just do what you got to do. Yeah. So anyway.
Other than that, yeah, that's the only thing I was like thinking about last week. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else is just going along. YouTube research, keyword research, article writing, and then webinar writing to be able to sell the courses.
Okay. Well, next time we meet Jeff, or in our next segment, we're going to actually have like very specific, tangible goals and targets that we're going to be looking
you.
for feedback on next week.
I got you.
So we don't want just general, we wanted to know exactly what you were doing last week or this week in this case. Alrighty, so
you got a lot of things to talk about.
I do. A lot has been going on, you guys. Let's see. The December has been kind of coming into the December. I had a lot of plans and aspirations because, as you know, in e-commerce or in product or merchandise business, usually people are buying gifts during the holidays. It's just a big time for selling, really. And so I've been, the last half of the year has really been prepping for December. I had a lot of goals, aspirations, and hope to really, make a big push to sell and have some income on this, like some business income, to really just push us for next year. So one of the big pieces of that was I had an opportunity to partner with some other vendors and to sell my things at a store in Santa Barbara. And so we were thinking about 9 of us in the store, pretty big store, really nice. We actually had the mayor of Santa Barbara come, open up our store when we officially opened. And so this store, we started this about late November. Late November is when we officially launched. So if you don't know, we live in Orange County, California, and Orange County to Santa Barbara, we're talking about
4 hours, 3.5,
maybe 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay. 2.5 to 3 hours. So drive. So I'm not going to go into a lot of the details about the specific experiences. I probably will sprinkle those in over time because incredibly memorable. Just one for the books, really. But we'll get into those details later. But
so you don't want to get into it now? You gonna tease it out? You gonna share it another time?
Well, I mean, I could. It's just so much to share. There's a lot to share, and I don't want to take up too much time. Let me get into the meat, and then I can then go back and share specific some of the challenges, But the short of it, you guys, is if anything, if I've ever experienced disappointment, it's in Santa Barbara. This has been the most underwhelming experience ever. It's just, and it's really kind of vulnerable even sharing about that because when I post on social media about go to Santa Barbara and I post pictures of the store, people are like, "Oh my God, you're doing so great, girl!" Like, go.
So only the podcast listeners are gonna know.
The podcast listeners are gonna know the real. Yeah, because you see, the store is very fancy. It's a very fancy mall in Santa Barbara, like in the heart of Santa Barbara. Those who are familiar with Santa Barbara, it's on State Street, and that's like downtown Santa Barbara. So I really had a lot of hopes and thought, we're gonna be selling our butts off. Like at a minimum, we'll sell 15 items a day, which is not too many, but I mean, in my world, that's okay. But the first weekend, maybe I sold maybe one item. And then the following, keep in mind, it takes me I spend $50 worth of gas whenever I go out to Santa Barbara. So the short is, I rented the booth for the space for $400 for the month of December. And let's just say I have not made, in revenue, not profits, I have not made booth costs.
I didn't know you had it for all of December.
I have it for all of end of December, yes.
Every weekend?
Yeah. The value of what I thought was value was the fact that since there are other vendors in there, we sell for one another. So whoever is there will kind of do the selling.
Yeah.
But the reality is that, we're not selling.
Yeah.
It's just, I underestimated, or I never thought about the challenge it takes to get people to come into a store. Up until now, I've done markets. So markets, when you're at a market, anyone walking by kind of is comfortable to walk through the markets, kind of see what's going on, look at the different cool booths. It's just kind of what you do. But in a store, in a mall, people don't just walk into a store.
You need signage.
We have signage, but still, it's like
You need
usually
like
people.
you need like a hook.
You need like a hook.
Yeah.
People usually are looking for the stores they're looking for. Like they know, okay, I'm going to the mall to go to this and this store, and they go. Very rarely you might have someone who's like, oh, I'm just kind of browsing. Then those people will walk in. But how many of them actually come to shop? Very, very few. Most of them are just like, let me kind of see what's going on. And so I had no idea, or it never even crossed my mind, the struggle to get traffic into the store. So last weekend I went on Saturday. Usually I'll leave super early and then come back like late at night, and on the way back I will be so tired, like I'll usually have to pull over and like take a nap in my car, continue driving because I'm super tired. I didn't sell a single thing the whole day. I left my house around 7 a.m., got back home around 10 p.m. That's a Saturday. I have 3 kids, so didn't sell anything. And like I said, if I've ever been demoralized in this journey, it's definitely, this experience is like number one, like source of like demoralization. To the point that I can't even tell my seamstresses back home because they're so reliant, and they had lots of expectations too about this, and they know how much we had to ramp up in stock, thinking that we're gonna have good sales. So the short is, didn't go very well. It's not going very well, but you know what? I'm not letting that really put me down because at the end of the day, the outcome is only a function of the people of our location, one, and a function of the people who happen to, or the lack of traffic in our area. And the fact that I'm unable to sell in Santa Barbara does not mean that there's not a large market out there that that would be interested in my products. Like, I have a lot of confidence in the listing of my products, and I've gotten good reception in other places. We're still not where we want to be, but really the point of it all, though, for me is like I need to build up my e-commerce presence. Really, it takes too much trying to go out there to actually physically sell. You're at the mercy of those you encounter, whereas on e-commerce or online, you have the opportunity to reach thousands of people. So that's sort of my focus now, is really to work actively on e-commerce. And then also alongside of that, I'm going to be doing like pitches to actual boutiques, going out to actually have them, consider stocking our pieces. So kind of doing that alongside the e-commerce piece, but definitely lots of great lessons from the Santa Barbara experience. I am taking a loss, but I feel like the lesson, is really valuable too. So that's kind of what's been going on. Kind of been a little sad, but I remain optimistic.
You got to. Eternal optimist.
I don't have a choice, Chief optimist. Chief optimist. Another thing that kind of makes me optimistic. So there's another company that I follow on Instagram, and they also kind of similar model like I do, but they cater to adults, and they had thousands of orders over Black Friday, the Thanksgiving weekend, to the point that their website crashed, and now they're dealing with all this backlash from customers who are like freaking out that their orders have not arrived. Like, their customers are like so pissed off, and they go to the video and you see like thousands and thousands of like labels that they've printed, and I'm like, listen, if they're able to get thousands and thousands of orders, I know I can definitely, I don't even need that much quite yet, I do a fraction, that tells me that the market is out there, and it's just a matter of being strategic about and positioning myself, at least accordingly to tap into that traffic.
So that's the biggest struggle?
That was my biggest struggle this past period. I would say it's that not really underperforming. Yeah. Lower than I expected, because I invested a lot of effort towards that market, because thinking that was going to be my main thing, and it's really just, it's a bust.
Yeah,
it's a bust. So
it's a learning experience.
It's a very heavy learning experience. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to kind of just lose your money, but to actually, some of the behind the scenes story. So when I went to Santa Barbara the first time, I didn't have anywhere to stay. I don't know anyone, so I like bummed it in my car overnight. Like, I just slept in my car, and people were like, the other vendors are like, oh, what did you sleep at? Oh, I was at a hotel. Yeah, my car was parked in front of a hotel. But
you didn't technically lie. You weren't inside the hotel.
So I've never slept in my car ever in my life, but I'm like, the business cannot afford me to get a hotel. I mean, good thing I didn't, because that's like that would have put me even further back. But yeah, I slept in the hotel. The next morning, I had to just like get up out of my car. No, I slept in my car. I get up out of my car. I'm like, what do? I go to Starbucks. I feel totally homeless because I'm like, I gotta go like brush my teeth and like rinse my face. I'm like trying to like scope the bathroom, make sure no one's there. So I do that real quick. And and whenever the vendors would start asking me questions about, oh yes, I was last night. I tried to like change the topic real quickly because I don't want them asking me like, so what's the name of that hotel you stayed at again? Because I'm bad at lying. So but then so that was the first weekend out there. And then so I've been out there now I think up to 4 or 5 times. Each time I go out there, it's a $50 gas cost.
Yeah.
So on top of the cost of the booth that I'm yet to even, I haven't sold enough in revenue, not even profits, to even like make the booth cost. I've also invested a lot of money, gas and food or whatever it is out there. Yeah. So it's like I'm in a hole. So that's my story. Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's demoralizing having those stories. I remember the first time I ever had something like that. We spent 6 months on a product. So recording videos, recording audio, outlining scripts, put in like all of this work, tried to sell it online, nothing. 6 months of work, couldn't sell it. And
was it the quality of the product, or was it like
not having the right channel to sell it?
But then that's
because it's an expensive product. We don't have a big audience, or we have an okay audience, but not big enough to be able to cold sell a high ticket product, and then to be able to sell a 97 to 197 product. You need to have, they're called tripwires inside how digital marketer calls them. So they're like low cost offers. So they would be like a $7 discounted product, or it'd be a $7 book, or it'd be a free book that you pay for shipping. Then you build the authority, you make your product and your upsell more
valuable.
Yeah, more valuable in their eyes, because they went through the book. Now they understand, okay, this is what I need next. And then I can see why paying this much is worth that. At the time, we didn't know what worked. I didn't go through my certifications. We were kind of just throwing stuff against the wall, and then trying to sell a $97 product to a cold traffic is not the right way to do it. You have to have articles. They have to see you first. They have to build awareness.
Trust you.
Yeah, and then they have to make the decision and have more knowledge to make the decision on buying your product and be able to compare it against other people, and you have to have a good offer. I had no idea about that stuff. So when we were trying to figure out how to sell things, that was like one of the biggest
hurdles.
Yeah, that was one the biggest 6 months, and we tried to sell this and we can't figure out. We paid money on ads. Why isn't this working?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, because one thing I've definitely learned is that, it's not always just about the product that you're offering.
No.
Like that's like a fraction of of everything. It's kind of like, with the clothes, I'm like, I know our clothes are wonderful. Like I know everyone who, on Etsy right now I have like 5 stars, and those who leave reviews, I don't, solicit reviews. They leave them at their own accord. It's always, really great experience. The quality is great. But at the end of the day, that's not going to generate sales in itself. Just the fact that you have a quality product, this is not in itself going to. The way you launch your stuff, the way you position it,
how you position is important.
It's almost more. You can almost sell anything, regardless of the quality. To be honest, because people don't know until they buy it, right? If you're able to position anything, you can sell it. Like I feel like positioning is almost more important for that initial sale. Granted, getting them to become repeat buyers, the quality that
there's some really bad business models where they sell so many information products that they're just trying to sell more than the returns that they get online. So the product is that is that bad. They're just hoping that not many people will return it, so that they can make a profit.
Oh, that happens. That
happens a lot.
That happens, yeah. And so they put a lot of effort, I'm sure, in the positioning aspect of it, in marketing it,
and partnering and doing with all this stuff.
Yeah. And that, talking about marketing, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Like I said earlier, is really just trying to. It's unfortunate because for me, when I started at Lisa Mama, the goal was I want to make these clothes. I want to support these women, these artisans in Nigeria. I never even thought about marketing as a thing. I never even give it any thought. I thought, okay, we're just gonna make the best clothes, best quality and best designs, and that'll be it. But that is just like that's the surface, and I'm beginning to see it more, because as we're trying to grow, one of the areas where we're limited is the fact that people don't even know about us. So it's like, how am I going to sell these things if people don't know about me? So really trying to figure out the best way to market Elisa Mama is really one of my headaches, one of my many headaches, but really the most acute one at this moment, because I feel like that's what's getting in the way, getting between us and growth is marketing. So I don't know. It's just frustrating. I don't know what to do, really, to be honest. But maybe once you get back to marketing, you can help me out. But
I can help you out now on the podcast.
Yeah, but I need someone to actually do it. I can't do it. I need someone.
Well, if you didn't convince me to stay inside this business.
Oh, really? Well, unfortunately, I'm a good person. I'm not selfish, so
I'm glad.
That's the price I have to pay. But yeah, it's all good. So anyway, moving on from that, going on to our, I guess now is probably a good time to segue into our next segment. Next segment. Next segment.
Don't worry, I'll mix in the music. I have so one of the friends, he was an intern for the company. His name is Mayo. He's on Spotify.
I know. Is it Nigerian?
No, he's not. He's a Filipino.
The name sounds like a Nigerian name. Anyway.
He's actually don't know what his real name is Mayo too, and he's a really good artist, and he's a really good magician. He was on Philippines Got Talent.
It looks
like he's doing real magic,
but it's not magic. It's like
it looks like it
moving with the hands.
Because he was doing things. He was like, I was holding a card, and then he's like, okay, turn it down, and then he was like where I was to you, and he went like this, and he's like. And it turned into like a queen, and I had no idea how I did it.
Like little hand movements and stuff.
Maybe trick cards. I don't know, but it's amazing.
Interesting.
So we can. I'll ask him. We just gotta credit him, and then we'll just mix it in.
That's cool. We'll get credit.
Yeah,
I can give credit at the end. The song was today's episode was.
If you like the music from today's episode, please check out Mayo.
You can find him on all social platforms at
Spotify.
All right, so Jeff, I don't know if you've thought about anything, but
so from the business coaching aspect, so I'll guide you through what you think you need to do next week. So
you're gonna guide me through?
Yeah, because so basically it's asking questions and then you come up with the answers, and that's basically how business coaches go through it. So then what is the biggest thing you want to achieve for next week?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I want to put together, because remember how I said I wanted to do my boutique pitching?
Yeah.
I want to put together the sort of the artifacts that I need. So like a line sheet that has pictures, images of products and details around them and pricing and all that. I want to have that. I want to have that developed. And then, so the line sheet is one, and also put together like a lookbook. Not like a book, but like the
online lookbook.
No, not online. This is something I'm going to take with me, like when I go to stores.
Oh, so like a portfolio.
Well, I need to figure out something that I can leave with them.
Okay,
something that I can leave with them or that I can email to them, so that when I go, I can. This is our products, and this is how we style it. That's what will be in the lookbook, and so those two things are things that I wanna have by next week, is have the line sheet ready, and so some kind of lookbook or something that I can take with me or leave with the stores when I go.
Are you gonna print it?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go to a printer or a graphic designer?
I don't think I need to go that far. I mean, Canva is.
I was about to say, use Canva's, like they have a catalog.
Yeah.
Or they have some free or really low cost. Just upload your photos.
Yeah. I use it, so I probably will be using it as well. But right now it's just more so assembling the information, and then I'll try to like pretty it up and all that. So that's my goal, because I've just been dragging my feet. I don't understand. Like Santa Barbara is just really like just killed my mojo this December. Like this is the best time of the year for me because my kids' birthdays and I love Christmas, but like I'm so down.
Over Santa Barbara?
I'm over it. I'm over it. And honestly, it's like I don't even want to go out there anymore. I have my clothes out there, but I'm just like, I don't want to go anymore. Like, what's the point of me burning gas, being out there all day? All the time I've spent out there, I could have spent doing some more tangible work out here with marketing and reaching out. But, you know.
Have you tried running ads to people inside Santa Barbara?
I spent $50 on top of the money I don't have. $50 on ads. You know, so I'm just like, I'm done.
At least you have your investor here.
I'm done putting money in that direction. I'm just going to cut my loss. I mean, I haven't even paid the girl her money, like the $400, but I'm not going to be the kind of person that would not do that. I will pay her. I know I will pay her because it's the right thing to do. And I'm just going to cut my loss. And it just, you know, for me, what really hurts me, really affects me is the fact that for my team in Nigeria who are so reliant on this work, every dollar is a big deal to them. So I have to be very like judicious about how I manage the Elisa Mama funds. You know, it's very critical. So I just can't be casual about how I, you know, spend money. It's like, and because I mean, we need to also. The other thing is moving the stock. You know, that's the other aspect of it because they want to do some more work and they can't work until I like
get off the inventory.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it all, but at least have some movement. Have some movement a little bit, you know. And right now it's kind of dead.
Before you highly discount it for the next season.
Well, I mean, sometimes like, do you want it? You want it for free? I'm just kidding. So I can get out of my garage.
Wait, but you said you came up with a good strategy.
Yeah, I will. And this is marketing. So I'm gonna be using, and that's the other thing I need to work on too. Is, you know, there's so many things that I want to do. I almost feel like I need an assistant because
a virtual assistant.
Maybe I need a virtual assistant because so what I told Jeff was any excess inventory I had, I was going to use it for marketing, like sending it out to influencers to help them, you know, build brand awareness and all that. So, have I done that? No, because I'm busy doing everything else, going to Santa Barbara, I guess. But anyway, that's that. So that's what next week is, to prepare, have the artifact or the whatever for pitching.
Okay, so finish. So by next week, by the next time that we podcast, you will have the lookbook done and the line sheet
done. Yes, okay. Yes, and I will be ready to start pitching.
Okay,
that'll be the goal for the
next week.
For the next week will be to start pitching.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one, but so help me God. So Jeff, are you done asking me questions? Is that?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, all right,
because you already know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I already do. What about you? So what are you gonna do next week?
I need to start posting on YouTube. Like I've been putting it off. I need to start creating content.
Will
for
you
YouTube.
Post on YouTube?
I will post. Okay, so by the next time that we meet, I will post at least one video on YouTube and then update the podcast at least one episode.
Okay. All right.
Because I need to start creating content again consistently.
Yeah, we all have a lot of things we need to do, but we need to know what we're actually going to do.
I'm going to do. I'll have it.
Okay, well that's
so
good.
Different change of words.
Good to know. And you know, kind of looking ahead with the holidays coming up, and you know, going into a new year, we're gonna have to start discussing like our kind of like our 6 month. Yeah, like what's the goal? Like when we meet again.
We could do a year 2019 in review.
Well, we do 2019 review, and then also looking ahead into 2020.
2020.
What are we looking to accomplish? Like, you know, quarter one, whatever, quarter two.
That we could check out the archives.
Yeah,
and be like, okay, this is what we set out to do.
Exactly.
And then the podcast listeners are gonna be listening.
Our listeners of a party of two.
Don't worry, I know how to grow a podcast.
You do? Okay, good.
I do know how to grow a podcast.
Right, hopefully our content is engaging enough and exciting enough.
Even if it's not, we sucked. When we first released our podcast, we sucked.
All right.
But we kept doing it consistently. It just grows.
Okay, all right. Well, good to know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just sharing our stories and like really being like open about stuff. Like I said, my social media, I can't really like fully share because people don't like bad news. And people, I realize that people really, I mean, granted, people always say, oh, I like authenticity and like you being, you know, vulnerable. But you can't always be like authentic about like your struggles because people start having doubts about your business. Like, is this really going to happen? Is there really something to it? Because people kind of, I notice that people every so often when I share like, oh God, this sucks. Oh my God, sorry, and they feel bad for me or whatever. But like, there's kind of like a bandwidth or like a threshold of that.
Oh yeah.
After which people start feeling like, okay, almost feeling like it's not really a viable business.
Yeah, and then they'll talk you out of it,
yeah,
or they'll be like, or maybe this is not.
They might not even say it directly to you, but you can kind of tell. Because like I notice now when I put the least amount, like the least, because for me I'm almost like I'm like coming from the ground up, trying to like make this thing work, and I can see how they get so excited whenever there's like a little bit of progress. I get so much engagement like from my audience or my followers, like, oh my God, you made this video, or you bought this new machine for the team, you're doing so great, girl, good job, girl, we're proud of you. It's like, but really though, it's like it's not as exciting as I haven't done as much as it appears, but they're so excited for my success that I kind of almost don't want to like disappoint them in a way. So it's kind of like that balance of being authentic, but then also not sharing so much that people start losing hope. You
want to share enough that they look at you as an underdog to root for you.
Yeah.
But not, especially because you're more in retail, so then you wouldn't want to share too much where they think that they're not going to get their products, and
they know they'll get their products.
But you know what I mean, like
they know they'll get their products, but I mean. I don't know. I can't quite articulate what it is, but I just noticed that, after a while, people just start like, I feel like they start believing in you. They stop believing in you. If all you share about is, I can't sell, no one's buying, it sucks. I mean, they can only buy, they'll probably try to support you, but they can only support you like once or twice. I mean, you can't keep like going back to the same people over and over again to try to, make the sales. So it's like.
You can.
Well,
80% of most revenue is made by only 20% of the customer base.
Okay, you have a child. you have a child. Children's clothing.
No, I know.
How many clothes are you going to buy for your kid in a matter of like months?
I don't
know. From the same company.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you need time to create the need again. So not that they couldn't buy again, and I do have repeat customers, but like in the same period in time, it's not as easy for them to.
No, of course. You need to meet. You still need to find all the people, and then you need to be able to create 1,000 fans.
Yeah.
1,000. But the thing with your market too is that your market grows up,
and which is good because as they grow, they can buy the next size.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they'll be there for a while.
Yeah, they'll be. Yeah.
So anyone then technically you can resell to them.
Yeah, but not within the same period in time. You need time for the need to. So you need them to grow. Before it's like, okay, someone buys something from me in January. I can't expect them to buy something else in like March. I mean, not that they couldn't, but it's not likely.
So is it because there's not enough in the line?
No, there is, but it's like how many of
people buy a lot? Trust me, because I've worked with big companies, and what they do is they make most of their money on repeat buyers.
They will be repeat buyers, but as a parent, say for instance, we do like a big shopping for my kids at certain periods in time in the year. Like I don't just buy them clothes like willy-nilly. Like usually it's like maybe 3 key points in time where me personally as a shopper, I go out. And then what I offer is so specific that it's not really, it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's not like you're buying like a t-shirt, for instance, where it's like, okay, a little $10 t-shirt and that's it. Yeah. You're buying like a dress, for instance, that's like $40.
Yeah.
So if you bought a couple like this month, not that you couldn't buy it again. Maybe if you saw something else that was super nice and you're like, oh my God, I really like it. But it would have to be like an extra level of emotional like excitement for you to buy it again in a short period shortly after you just made that first purchase. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I've noticed. Like people will buy, but then they might not buy again until the next year.
Yeah. Well, are you marketing them through email?
I can reach them. The issue is not whether I can. These are people that like follow me and they engage with me. So there are people that I are aware and they see my stuff. But I notice that there's usually needs to be like almost like a gap in time for the need to arise again.
Yeah.
Before they buy. So the point is, I need like new targets.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah. Of course, you need to be able to get new people.
Yeah. That's kind of the point. So anyway, whatever. So next week I'm gonna work on I'm getting my pieces together for the pitch, and then Jeff is going to post at least one video to YouTube and work on a podcast. I will
have the podcast updated as well.
We have a podcast updated, so that's awesome. Okay. Yep. All right. So we'll provide feedback next week. Keep us honest and on task.
Yeah, this is good because this is like social accountability for us.
It is social accountability. Yep.
It's reputation.
Yes, yes. So, moving on to our, I guess, third and final
last segment.
Just
the tip.
Our podcast. We're gonna be giving you the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. No more, no less. So as we go through this journey, we as you kind of try to figure things out, you pick up different tips or different tools and resources that you're like, oh my God, I wish I knew this, sooner. This is super useful. And, our goal is, as we're sharing our stories, is to also bring you things that we found to be of value and share those with you just in case, it can be of use to you as well. So Jeff, I'm going to have you go first. Hopefully you're not taking mine. We don't share anything before when we meet, it's like when we meet, we have no prep. So
just keeping our stories to ourselves.
Let's see.
No, we don't talk anymore.
We don't talk anymore. We're not friends anymore.
She used to share all her stories at my cube.
I can't share because I need to get his true, honest reaction. So Jeff, so what is the one tip you want to share with our listeners?
Okay. So for those of you who are doing content marketing, one of the biggest things that we failed was trying to get people who aren't writers to write and then develop them as writers, and also who don't know anything about search engine optimization, so SEO. So for those of you who don't know what SEO is, it's basically how to optimize and how to target certain keywords so you show up on Google. And
Does it really work?
Yeah. So we've ranked before. I rank on one of my Medium articles on second page of Google for how to get over a breakup. So there's certain things that you need to do and things that you need to know. There's 2 people that you can follow. First, the content has to be pretty good. Has to be pretty amazing. Has to be better or different than what's on first page of Google. That's the first thing. You can't just put good content out there because you're competing against everybody else. So that's where we failed as well. Is our content was okay. It was some of it was really good, but it wasn't good enough for people to be like, wow, that was a great article. I want to share this.
But I think everyone's always trying to put out something great. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like whoever goes out there and says, I'm going to put out a mediocre article. Like I'm going to just go sit down and I feel like everyone's trying to put out great content.
They are, but they don't know how. So one of the ways of doing that is follow Smart Blogger. So they teach you the writing style, and even if you're not the person who's doing it, you're the person you want that you're hiring. You can either hire them from Smart Blogger, or you can just do it yourself and research all the different articles there. It'll tell you about SEO. It'll tell you about a bunch of different things. Also, Neil Patel. He's probably the biggest influencer in the SEO space. He ranks for Google page 1 for a lot of huge traffic when he was really small. So he ranks number 1 for, I think, SEO. He ranks number 1 for content marketing. He ranks number 1 for affiliate marketing. And some of the biggest companies have hired him as a consultant for their website and optimization as well. So those are the 2 places. The person that I hired was a writer from Smart Blogger. And I've also taken courses from Smart Blogger, from like how to guest post to I forget what the one writer's recipe. It was a pretty expensive course. It teaches you like step by step how to create shareable content or content that is optimized. And then you can also, what I was planning to do is, so I hired that girl from Smart Blogger. What I was going to do is, okay, so I have her, she was a rock star and easy to work with, except it was like $200. So I'm going to see what it's like to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. Now I'm going to go and talk to my cousin in the Philippines. I'm going to work with writers in the Philippines, and I'm going to give them the tools that I had to become a better writer, and then see if they can create more content that's better at lower costs. Okay. So probably like 6 articles for $200 or 4 articles at $200, and see if that is better than the $200. So we'll see what happens. That's like going to be the ongoing experiment. But those are the 2 resources that I trust.
Smart Blogger and Neil Patel?
Neil Patel, yeah.
Neil Patel. So for those who are into content creation, or that's your business model, or what you do, those 2 resources, according to Jeff.
You should, yeah. Especially if you're looking to rank for, like, learning how to look for keywords, how to rank for specific keywords, and then also local rankings, like Orange County Dating Coach, Orange County children's clothes. Being able to rank for highly targeted keywords that so you can beat out your competition, those would be things that you'd want to look at. Go to those websites if you're looking to have a longer term traffic from Google. It's one of the best ways. Like if you create awesome content that's over typically 4,000 words, 1,400 words, and you get backlinks from like reputable websites, so you have to do your influencer outreach, you can build up your website and then start placing very high, and then that's just going to be people who are constantly searching for a need, and then they'll find your website eventually. So that's like the long-term play here. So from a year from now, that's what I'm expecting, is to rank for a bunch of keywords. My friends who started a company and got their Series A funding, what they did is they just had a bunch of content, a lot of writers. They started ranking for keywords. Now they rank for like the number one keywords for like how to dance. They have basically an online coaching dance company, and it's like worth millions of dollars right now. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully as we progress with this podcast, we will see the value of that effort on your play out in your business, and then that will be a good indication, and for our listeners to take your tips as truth.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. There's not more than one.
No more. All right. So for me, there have been a lot of things that I do have a lot of things that I would like to share, but I think at this point, given that we are just sort of second podcast, one thing I want to share that has been very useful for me is, in addition to listen to the entrepreneurs who have jobs, definitely
subscribe.
In addition to subscribing to this, listen to podcasts, I would say, have definitely been very, very useful for me and instrumental to keeping me focused, keeping me motivated, keeping me sort of eager, and realizing that this is possible. I don't know what your experiences are, and I think I shared this on our first episode. The fact that when I hear stories of people who and how they were able to build things and accomplish things and create, whether even just people in corporate America, people who are running companies, and then of course entrepreneurs, and just hearing their stories, it makes me realize that this is possible, right? And so, of course, I've called out how I built this. I love that podcast because it's just, I've never seen anything like that really just breaks down random regular people's stories and their journey towards success. It really inspires me and motivates me. So I definitely recommend anyone who has a business or who is just trying to just grow in whatever direction. Guy Raz, pretty amazing. You should listen to the podcast. They have hundreds of episodes, and so just you can just drown in them. It's awesome. And then for any female, maybe women like myself who have children and families, and also wanting to build something, the Business Boutique by Christy Wright is another really great podcast that I started to listen to very early on in this journey, because it speaks in the kind of voice that will resonate with someone like ourselves, a mother, who's driven, who wants to be good at being a mother, but also succeed at whatever professional or career aspirations you have for yourself. So I think, and she also gives very tangible tips. She always has speakers on. So I'll just keep it for two for now. Guy Raz and Business Boutique by Christy Wright. Those two podcasts I recommend.
And Entrepreneurs with a Job.
Oh yeah. Well, that goes without saying. Well, yeah, you have to continue to listen on to the raw, unfiltered chronicles of Jeff and Fisayo in our entrepreneurship journey.
The struggle is real.
As you can tell, we are struggling, but you know what? We're resilient. Who's calling me? Oh, never mind. We're not giving up.
No, we're not giving up.
F Santa Barbara. It doesn't matter if I go out there for 12 hours.
Hashtag
F Santa Barbara.
F Santa Barbara.
We are not stopping. Can't stop, won't stop. Until next time, this has been the Entrepreneurs with a Job.
And
episode 2.
If you've been listening, please subscribe to the podcast. And if you enjoy what you've been listening to, please leave us a great rating.
Yes.
Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Jeff here, and a few things before you go. The music was produced by an amazing artist named Mayo from the Philippines. Check out his social media and information in the podcast description. Next, if you want to connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs who get it, then come join the Entrepreneurs with Jobs community. We host free in-person networking events, virtual workshops, and summits, and we have an emerging online community. Best of all, it's free. Let's work smarter, not harder, and crowdsource our knowledge to help each other out. Entrepreneurship is already hard enough, but it doesn't mean we have to go it all alone. To join, just go to entrepreneurswithjobs.com and enter in your email address. We'll send you an email with all the details of how to join the community and get updates on when the next events are. And lastly, if you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe to get future updates. But the biggest thing that you can do to help entrepreneurs just like us is to share this podcast with a friend. Now get out there, take action, and thank you again for listening.